Welcome to the Prophecy Club. I like to tell you where we're going with the broadcast before we actually get there, because I think a lot of times you want to know, hey, do I really want to give this broadcast the time to listen to all of it? The answer is, on this one, yes, you do. So what's going on? What's the point of it? I'm about to say I have new information and new reasons to believe that the Suitcase Nukes may be, really close to going off. I've got another confirmation. First of all, let's start with the quote from David Rockefeller, speaking at the UN Business Conference, September 14th, 1994. We are on the verge of a global transformation. Now, what's he talking about? A global transformation. He's talking about world government. He's talking about bringing in the Antichrist. We're on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the New World Order. What does he mean, the right major crisis? You see, on the front of their book, called Morals and Dogma, there is a phrase, and it says, Ordo ab chao. That's Latin for order out of chaos. They think that they have to destroy the old order based upon the Bible, based upon the thin blue line of the police and of our laws. If they can destroy that, then we will allow them to set up a new world order. It's kind of like the old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, not to worry. They plan to break it. That's their solution. That's their formula to get what they want. I'll read it again. We're on the verge of a global transformation. All we need is the right major crisis, and the nations will accept the New World Order. Now, here's what happened. 5/22/21 at 6:22 a.m., for those of you that know that the number 22 is very special to Leslie and I. And many of the things that God has spoken to us has come on the date with a 2 and a 2 in that date. Well, so anyway, at 6:22, this past, Friday morning, I woke up out of this dream. It was a quick dream. I saw Dimitri on tour. He was speaking, going from city to city, and he invited me to go along, and of course I accepted, and I awakened. Now, I've been praying like crazy ever since then, and I'm going to get my fast track team praying that God will speak to us and tell us more, because I think that is an invitation. It's an invitation for us to step up, to come closer. God wants to speak something to us, and I'm not talking about just me. I'm talking about to us, the people that believe in Dimitri's warning. He wants to tell us more. Okay, so what does it mean? Well, I don't think I have the full meaning, but I'm going to give you as much as I think that I have at this point. So, back to the point. What does it mean when I saw Dimitri on a speaking tour and he invited me to go along? Let me tell you what I don't think it means. I don't think it means that I'm supposed to set up a speaking tour going out giving Dimitri's message. Probably, I say probably, what it means is that I, yes, am supposed to continue to carry his message, refresh everyone in his warning, and yes, I'm going to do that in coming days. Probably, it also means that his warning is close, or coming, or about to arrive. In other words, it's not someplace over the horizon where we don't have to worry about it. Okay, that brings the next question. Is it saying that the Russians are about to attack with nuclear weapons? I don't think so. But here's why I don't think so. Refresh your memory. April 15, 2002, notice a 2-2, 2002, Prophet Leslie Johnson heard audible voice in the night give her 6 prophecies to watch for. That Arafat would go into the hospital, and we didn't know. I mean, at the time, he wasn't even outside of his compound. So to put out on national radio, send to all of our best supporters, that Arafat's going to go in. And by the way, it was to die in the hospital. That was a very big prophecy. But 11/11/04, about 2 years later, 3:30 a.m., Arafat died in the hospital just as she was told. That confirms the other 5 points of the prophecy. She was told that Israel will give the Palestinians a state. Now pause a second. Could it be that what is going on in Israel right now, that is basically war between the Palestinians and the Israelis, could it be that it's going to lead to a Palestinian state? It could. Point 3. The Palestinian state would be a temporary measure to allow the Israelis time to strengthen the military, and oil would be discovered in Israel, and I think someone very close to us is probably going to be that person that discovers that oil. Oil will make the Jews willing to fight for their land, and then Israel and America will go against most of the rest of the Arab world. Now let's jump down. Again, that was April 15th, 2002. Now let's jump down to January 22. Also notice the 2-2, January 22 of 2006. Here Leslie heard the audible voice of God say, Israel refuses help to America. Then she heard the following headlines in her heart. This was the order she heard them, not necessarily the order they will happen. And I hope you're writing this all down. Israel refuses help to America. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Catastrophe hits America. One of America's greatest times of need. Israel is attacked. America sends troops. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. Then she heard my voice, quoting Dimitri, saying, the fall of America will start with an internal revolution. June the 14th of 2008, after I spoke in Amarillo that night, this was the night that God spoke to me and said, Stan, I will give you the money to drill the well in Israel, unquote. By the way, anytime I say that, I have to give you a disclaimer. I cannot guarantee we're ever going to get the money drilled for or hit oil in Israel. But what I generally don't say is the rest of the evening, he continued to speak to me. And I've only heard this voice like 4 times in my life, the way he does this. It was like the eternity voice. It was all the way around me. And I would like to be able to tell you I could remember all the other things he said that night, but I don't. The only other thing I can remember is when those prophecies I gave your wife begin to come to pass, people from all directions will begin to turn and listen to your ministry. What prophecies is he talking about? He's talking about the future headlines. Omer ushers in Palestinian state, in my opinion, is most likely the first one to be fulfilled. And when he said that, I saw visions of Leslie actually holding up various newspaper headlines and across the front of the newspaper. I don't know which one it was. My guess is, I did say guess, my guess is that it's probably the Jerusalem Post, but I do not know what newspaper. It could be various newspapers. But I saw her holding up these newspapers with those headlines on them. Now, why is that important? Because that is the most important thing to let us know how close it is for Dimitri's warning for the Russians to attack. How close is that getting to us? All right, now, how's that tied together with it? So then what? Have we heard any of these coming to pass? The answer is no. Okay, so what is really going on here? I believe right now the Russian bear is continuing to grow angry at the eagle. Just this week, the Russians had to come up to some American troops that had basically invaded without permission into Syria, probably at Biden's command. And they said, guys, you don't have the authority to be here. We do have the authority by the president of Syria. You don't have authority to be here. By what authority are you here? And they were told to leave. I believe that it's saying that Russia is not about to attack. And I don't get a yawn on that. I don't get anything saying I'm wrong. Okay, so then what is about to happen? I believe that we're very, very close to the suitcase nukes going off. Now, I'm going to go back and refresh your memory on that here in just a second. But let me, first of all, give you the new information. As you recall, for the last 2 days, I've been reading an article called The History of the Khazarian Mafia, and I got it from veteranstoday.com. And again, I'll say again, I give a disclaimer, I do not necessarily endorse anything else on the website or anything else they say. But I've been around long enough to know that most everything they're saying in this particular article, I said most everything, I didn't say everything, but most everything is accurate. So I read it. Well, my plan was to continue reading it today. But when I looked at where I'd stopped, basically I had made it to the bottom. However, these were the very next words. This had to be God. This had to be God arranging for me not to see these words until I'd had the dream of Dimitri on tour. These were the very next words that I had planned to read in today's program. But there's not enough to read and make an entire program, and the point's kind of been made. So I'm going to conclude with these 3 paragraphs from it. The Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia planted 25 nukes in major American cities and other major cities in Europe in order to blackmail the associated government. This is referred to as their Samson option and was first discovered and disclosed by Seymour Hersh. Samson option? Samson option. What are they talking about? Oh, wait. We remember. That was when, remember, Samson was super strong, killed 1,000 men with the jawbone of an ass, and then Delilah betrayed him. And so consequently, they put his eyes out, and he was having to crush grain for them in the dungeon. And his hair grew back out, and he gained his strength back. And all of the prophets of Dagon, or the prophets of the devil, had gathered into a really big party. And so they called Samson down to make fun of him. Samson said, "Take me to the 2 pillars that hold up the entire place." Samson prayed and asked God to allow him to pull down those pillars to kill everyone there, and that he would be able to die along with this because he had no more eyes. Well, Samson did push the pillars apart, and it killed all the prophets of Dagon. So what they're doing, what they're saying here, is that the Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia, the deep state, the international bankers, the Moloch and the Baal worshippers, whatever you want to call them, basically have placed, now we know the number. We knew that it was somewhere between 20 and 50, but now we know the number is 25 nukes in major American cities so that we won't eliminate them. Why is that important right now? Because that is exactly what Trump and the military are planning to do. We talked about that, so I'm not going to dwell on that. But that is the massive arrests. Massive arrests. Remember, I heard the audible words, massive arrests, massive arrests. That is the cleaning up of the Dagon, or in today's words, we call them Moloch and Baal worshippers. Those people that rule the world from their evil, hidden places. Believe in human sacrifice, eating and drinking their blood, sex with children, drug trafficking. It's just the most vile, the most evil people on earth. But unfortunately, they made a pact with the devil that if they give him enough blood, he would see to it that they have unlimited wealth and power. And they did what they were supposed to do. And apparently, obviously, the devil has done what he's supposed to do. Now, let me read these next 2 paragraphs. Then we'll go to make the next point. Matter of fact, let me back up and read that last paragraph again. The Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia planted 25 nukes in major American cities and other major cities in Europe in order to blackmail the associated government. This is referred to as their Samson option and was first discovered and disclosed by Seymour Hersh. The Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia also gained some S-19 and S-20 warheads from a corrupt member of Congress assigned to the task to buy up Ukrainian MIRVs, that's multiple independent reentry vehicles, I believe, on behalf of the U.S. government in order to decommission them. Instead, he sold them to the Israelis and split the money with other key congressmen involved. Again, I'll give you a disclaimer. I cannot verify anything that Veterans Today is saying here. This is high treason and a capital offense punishable by execution. Right after their attack on America, the Rothschild-Khazarian Mafia told the U.S. administration that they would detonate city-buster-sized nukes in some American cities, including D.C., if the administration refused to allow Israel to create their own large police state occupation force inside America, based upon the consolidation of all American law enforcement and alphabets under one central Israeli control. Well, as you can imagine, probably since one of their major ways they control and get what they want is through extortion and blackmail, you can well guess that that was not the last threat. So it is my opinion that what the Khazarian Mafia, the international bankers, the deep state, the Moloch and the Baal worshipers are doing right now is threatening, if you continue to arrest us, I say continue because they're already being arrested. If you continue to arrest us, we're going to use the Samson option. We're going to detonate these suitcase nukes all across America. Now, they know they're not kidding. Now, let's jump back to the beginning of the suitcase nukes. So, Stan, how do you know that suitcase nukes are in America? That's a good question, and I'm going to answer it. The Bible says, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. Meaning, even though you didn't see her stab him with the knife, 2 or 3 other people saw him stab her with the knife. So, in the eyes of the law, when you have 2 or more people saying the same thing, then that is admissible in court. Now, it used to be we had 8. But now with this latest additional just read to you, we now have 9 different people. I'll say it. 9 different people that say that suitcase nukes are in America, and I believe the threat right now that is going on, if you arrest us, if you don't let us control the world or continue to control the world, we're going to set them off. Well, according to numerous sources, one of them being finalwakeupcall.info and also Hal Turner, BenjaminFulford.net, they're in the process of removing them, and that's removing them from power in the financial areas, but also in the Capitol and things like that. Now, let's go to the story of the suitcase nukes. It begins in November 1998. Prophecy Club invited Stanislav Lunev, the highest-ranking Russian military officer to ever defect from Russia. He made a Prophecy Club DVD. You can order the DVD at prophecyclub.com, or you can watch it instantly, as in right now, at watchprophecyclub.com. It's called Russian Defector Warns America. Russian Defector Warns America. In this video, you can hear him say that he was part of a team of people that were looking for places to hide these 50, quote, lost in Russia suitcase nuclear bombs to be smuggled into the United States. Then, May 5th, 2003, Michael Boldea, grandson of Dmitry Duduman, had a dream. Dmitry came to him in the dream. I'm going to skip most of it. I'm going to get right to the point. Now, this is Dmitry talking directly to Michael in the dream. He says, now, for the reason I'm here, I was sent to show you something. Look and see. He said, pointing down to the valley below, as I looked, I saw the outline of the map of America. Then I saw the outlines of states beginning to take shape. As I continued to watch this map solidify, some lights began to flicker on and off in some of the states. I recognized California, Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, Washington State, Florida, and New York among the states that began to light up. The light was rhythmic, almost like a homing beacon, constant in its progression. Now, I think that's telling us that it's not all at the same time. It's a boom, 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 boom. My guess is that they set off one and say, stop the arrests. They don't stop the arrests, so they set off another one. They say, stop the arrest. Now, that's just a guess. It's a good guess, but it's a guess. I continued watching the lights going on and off, waiting for something else to happen, but nothing did. Finally, I said, I don't understand. What does this mean? Dmitry said, these are the places where those who were sent here long ago to bring fear and cause chaos have situated themselves. They lie in wait, planning and plotting destruction. They are as coiled serpents, looking forward to the hour when, he didn't say if, looking forward to the hour when they will be loosed upon this nation. If God's children pray, once more he will delay, it didn't say remove, he will delay the season of sorrow that has come. Now, in my opinion, I believe we have already delayed that season of sorrow at least twice, but that's one of the things I'm asking you to do, is to pray that those suitcase nukes do not go off, and those people that thought to use them would find swift, hard justice in Jesus' name. We stood on the ridge in silence for a moment. After a while, the light stopped flickering in the valley below, and the map began to fade away. Suddenly, my grandfather turned his head to the east and began to sniff the air as he used to do. Storm's coming, my boy, and it's a bad one. Let's jump to January 9th, 2005. I asked the Lord, what is the next 9/11 attack? And He showed me. I put it into a DVD called The Nukes 9/11 Attack. Again, prophecyclub.com for the DVD, or Watch Prophecy Club to watch it instantly right now. I was shown that there's going to be a series of suitcase nuclear explosions all across America, that international bankers would be behind it. They would use sophisticated bombs experts in several cities, with one hitting a regional bank, destroying their records and their backups. Now, this is just a guess, but my guess is that once the SWIFT system is taken down and the new QFS system is put online, according to finalwakeupcall.info, there's going to be a real big shift, like we're going to move from paper money to digital money. Again, so he says. Then that makes sense to me that wherever that digital money is contained or kept, the records, that they would be hit with a suitcase nuke to knock them out. That way, it would put the Swift boys or the Moloch and Baal worshippers back in control. Sophisticated bombs experts in several cities, with one hitting a regional bank, destroying the records and their backups. This would put billions of dollars into the hands of the international bankers while throwing the U.S. economy into a freefall. 2005, former Congressman Kurt Weldon, vice chairman of the House Armed Services Committee, uncovered a plot to set explosives in 10 cities. He could not get the authorities to act, so he published it in a book called Countdown to Terror. The cities were Valdez, Alaska, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, New York City, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, Houston. Then, October 15, 2004, in a dream summarized as The Eagle and the Serpents, Michael Boldea was shown an eagle killed by 3 serpents. He was told the first bite would be like 9/11. I'm just summarizing it here. He was told the first bite was 9/11. He was told the second bite, a second serpent, would be much worse than the first. And the third serpent, one of many colors, finally killed the eagle. The angel said the first bite was 9/11. The second bite is yet to come. The third will be its destruction. He also said the second bite came from an unexpected place. Would you call some 25 suitcase nukes going off probably all the same day, one after another? Would you call that an unexpected place? Because I would. February 2013. Doug Mesker came to Prophecy Club and made a DVD, also available at Prophecy Club and also available to watch instantly at Watch Prophecy Club, called Will You Survive America's Call? He reports he was shown a vision of suitcase nukes hitting Los Angeles, New York City, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Chicago, San Francisco, Houston, Seattle, Orlando, Atlanta, Denver, and Dallas. So I said that there are 9 different people saying this. Well, actually, now there's 12. From Natural News, it says, but why would Trump still be refusing to concede while trying to make people think he is conceding? Because, according to one source that has briefed me, the globalist controllers are threatening to detonate dirty bombs in every U.S. state representing a senator who voted against the Biden slate of electors. The threat against Trump is that if he does not concede, the dirty bombs will be set off, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans. Then, January 20th of 2021, before Biden's inauguration, the Madrid bombing of a Catholic parish building yesterday morning, Wednesday, January 20th, in which 4 were killed and 11 injured, reportedly, was part of the threat made to military white hats in the interim military government by deep state threats to kill thousands of people. They say credible threats of small, dirty nuclear and bioweapon briefcase nukes have been made by deep state operatives. Now, the final one, by Simon Parks, and I do not endorse him at all, but he says that there are enemies planning on planting dirty bombs in cities all across America, and Oklahoma happens to be one of those cities. So I'm asking everyone out there to pray every day, maybe even morning and night, pray that God will not let the suitcase nukes go off, and instead he will cause them to be found, dismantled, and swift, hard justice brought to those people that thought to use them. Second thing is, if they do go off and you're anywhere close to them, the inside scoop is that it fries the computer chips and nothing in your house, your car's not going to start, or anything else like that. But EMPShield.com has a device that can help you with that. And if you'll use the promo code PROPHECY, it helps your prophecy club. Also, you've got to ask yourself, look, if 25 suitcase nukes go off all in one day or even over 3 days, do you have the food? Do you have the water? Can you stay inside your home for as long as a year? Maybe it's a pandemic out there. Maybe they're just requiring people to stay in their homes. If you don't have whatever it takes, food, water, Berkey water filter, in your home to stay there a year, then you're not prepared. Finally, recommend people have gold and silver. I recommend at least a handful of gold and at least a handful of silver, and that's not enough. And of course, if you're thinking about getting that, then I would recommend you call cornerstoneassetmetals.com and just mention Prophecy Club when you call. If you're thinking about getting food, then I recommend you go to heavensharvest.com. Use the promo code STAN, and I think you get something free there. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, EMPShield.com, promo code PROPHECY. HeavensHarvest.com, promo code STAN. CornerstoneAssetMetals.com, mention Prophecy Club, and they'll help you all get lined up. But the most important thing, my brothers and sisters, if it is to be, it's up to me. And if these suitcase nukes are going to be stopped, and what the dream could be saying is that they're very, very close. If they're going to be stopped, it's only because of our prayers. It's only going to be because people that do know how to pray and believe this stuff are praying against it. So we must pray, asking God not to let the suitcase nukes go off. In Jesus' name, amen. When a nuclear device goes off, it produces an EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and it fries every computer chip unless they're protected. The good news is EMPShield.com has devices a military testing facility says are 100% accurate to protect against EMP, solar flares, lightning, power surges backed by a 10-year warranty and a $25,000 insurance policy. And they come with simple installation instructions for home, vehicles, RV, and electric generators. You can have electricity in a blackout. EMPShield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. This helps Prophecy Club. That's EMPShield.com. Promo code PROPHECY for a $50 gift card. EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. The worst thing is to find yourself in an emergency and you do not have the food. But the second worst thing is to open the food you bought and your family won't eat it because it is garbage. That's the reason so many people get heavensharvest.com food, because it's really good food, edible food in an emergency. It may be 10, 15, 20 years down the road. All of a sudden, you do need it. You can open it and your family is going to eat it. heavensharvest.com. Put in the promo code STAN. It helps your prophecy club. heavensharvest.com, promo code STAN. Would you like a shortcut to be able to understand Bible prophecy, especially the book of Revelation? The shortcut is to write out the book of Revelation, then get yourself to the School of the Watchmen, June 11 to 13. Write out the whole book of Revelation. Well, it's not a requirement, but if you want a shortcut, yes, that's the shortcut, because that will help you to understand it in ways and in depths perhaps no other way you can. Write out the book of Revelation, go to prophecyclub.com, get signed up for the School of the Watchmen, June 11 to 13. June 11 to 13, prophecyclub.com. Terry Sock of Cornerstone Asset Metals is a prophecy student, reads his King James Bible, and wants to help Prophecy Club win souls, even if it means he loses money. So, the next time you need gold, silver, palladium, rhodium bars, or coins, contact cornerstoneassetmetals.com. They can help you roll over your IRA, 401k, so just tell cornerstoneassetmetals.com Prophecy Club sent you. As our way of saying thank you for your support, we are giving you the ability to watch I Saw the Dollar Dead by Daniel Davis from now through the end of June. He's the guy that said, I saw a man say, America as you have known it has ceased to exist, all property lines have been dissolved, and the U.S. dollar is worthless. Then the second dream went into, I saw a father jump out of the SUV saying, I need a full tank of gas, but the man said, sorry, we don't take U.S. dollars. It's available free at watchprophecyclub.com. Through the end of June, go to watchprophecyclub.com, Daniel Davis, I Saw the Dollar Dead. You can watch it for free through the end of June. Click like, share, and subscribe.